committing high crimes and misdemeanors. Those two articles are abuse of power and obstruction of justice. But the heart of this is the Ukraine scandal and the president using his office to pressure Ukraine's government to investigate one of his political rivals. The first article states that the president, quote, abused the powers of the presidency by ignoring and injuring national security and other vital national interests to obtain an improper personal political benefit. It continues, he also has betrayed the nation by abusing his high office to enlist a foreign power in corrupting democratic elections. The second article outlines how President Trump has concealed that scheme from Congress, essentially undermining the Constitution's separation of powers by seeking to, quote, arrogate to himself the right to determine the propriety, scope, and nature of an impeachment inquiry into his own conduct, as well as the unilateral prerogative to deny any and all information to the House. As expected, both of the articles made it out of the committee on a party line vote, 23-17. A similar scenario is expected in next week's full House vote. The impeachment proceedings then, presumably, head to the Senate, where Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says there is, quote, no chance the president is removed, although there may be a strategic reason behind his optimism, which may not necessarily be based on factual history.
You told Sean Hannity last night that you were coordinating with the White House in the impeachment. Why is that appropriate?
It was done during the Clinton impeachment as well. Not surprisingly, President Clinton and the Democrats in the Senate were coordinating their strategy. We're on the same side.
So Tom Daschle said that he didn't coordinate with the White House.
I just read today that they did.
Jeff Mason, let me start with you. The Majority Leader there is saying he just read today that they did coordinate. I want to get your reaction to what the Majority Leader said there in that interview, what he said to Sean Hannity as well, and help us understand how the White House, how the administration is preparing for this weekend.
Well, number one, I think it is clear that there's coordination there, and Senator McConnell confirmed that, and the White House has really confirmed that, and the president himself by suggesting he's listening to the Republican senators talk about their strategies and their advice on how the White House should handle a trial in the Senate. I was in the Oval Office with him yesterday when we asked him, how do you feel about a long trial versus a short trial? And he said, I'll do whatever I want. I wouldn't mind a longer trial because it would showcase some things, and he wants to see the whistleblower potentially be called as a witness. So I think that they are looking forward to him having his time in the Senate, which will be a friendlier body because it is controlled by Republicans, and they don't see any concern about coordinating between the two sides.
Tamara Keith, I don't know if you were there with the Paraguayan president and Jeff Mason yesterday at the White House.
I missed that one.
But I do want to ask you just about the contours of the defense as we see it shaping up here. I'm going to quote a little bit from Jonathan Chait, who is writing for New York Magazine, for which he works. As the factual defense of Trump's behavior in the Ukraine scandal has disintegrated, Trump has